This is Max Level EDC, and today we are not going to talk about multi-tools. We're going to talk about EDC screwdrivers. If you want a dedicated implement, there are a whole bunch of varieties that are compact and multifunctional that you may want to consider. And today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of them. So for the purposes of this video, we are not going to focus on proprietary bits. No Leatherman bits, no Cybertool bits, or nothing that is difficult to find. That even includes the ball detent variety and the double-sided hex bits, which only work with certain drivers. So these types we are not going to talk about. We are also, generally speaking, not going to talk about dedicated screwdrivers like this one. However, I do think there's a whole group of people out there that are interested in having a list that maybe includes a bunch of the best choices in this category. So I have included a master list down below that not only includes these types of drivers, but many of the other compact and hybrid combinations. So we are going to focus on two different types. We're going to focus on a standard 1/4 inch and the 4mm precision bit size. So these are the two sizes we are going to talk about in this video. Now we're going to jump right into it with the compact screwdrivers, starting with this one, which is only $5 by Maxcraft. It's sort of a lucky find. Now, in addition to storing 6 standard hex bits, it also works as a dedicated screwdriver. The extender itself has a small ball detent, and this lets it work in either orientation, whether it's inside the kit or outside. Now, being that it's stuck in plastic, it's not going to be the strongest thing in the world, but it is going to do more than enough with just your hand strength. And the cool thing about having the ball detent is it also fits perfectly into the Leatherman signal if you need a little bit more torque. So that's something really cool. This bit extender though has additional functionality. If you have something like the Multi-Force, which uses ball detents as well, it'll actually work better than the extender that comes with the kit and then lets you use standard hex bits as well. So really, really awesome, and probably one of my favorite things to find at such a low cost. Now this is another budget tool that I was really impressed with when I first got it. Now coming in at only $9, there's a lot to talk about here. First of all, you have a standard 1/4 inch Allen wrench, and this adapter is something I've not seen before. There is a 1/4 inch magnetic retention on both sides. Now, obviously it works very well as intended, which is allowing the 1/4 inch Allen wrench to become a screwdriver. But I feel like I'm missing something, that this could do so much more, and I'm kind of looking forward to exploring it and potentially including it in other kits in the future. Now you can use it for high torque or long reach, and that is going to be pretty good for most people. When you put it all back together, I think the best thing about the kit is that the Allen wrench sits on top of the bits, so you're not going to have any feel of those sharp edges when you put it in your pocket. You just drop it straight in. And on top of that, on the sides, you have these bite tools. Now these are designed to help repair tires, but the truth is you could probably use them to take apart a knife without actually damaging the scales or titanium or anything like that, which is awesome. Now the next kit is produced by the same company. Now this has the exact same removable scale tools that you can use for adjusting tires, but like I said, you can use it for probably taking things apart on a knife as well. The big claim to fame here though is that really, really small ratcheting driver. Now it has a magnetic retention in the bottom for long reach, but it also has the high torque if needed. And this actually can be adjusted left or right. And from all the reviews I saw of this bike kit, that was not the failure point. That is not the thing that people talked about. I was pretty sure that this ratchet would end up being the thing that broke and most people would be upset about it, but it turns out not so much, which is very impressive. This ratchet is so small, it could probably fit into most organizers in the same pen slot. And I think it could be of use to somebody for sure. Now it does come with a 1/4 inch socket to 1/4 inch hex conversion, and that might be useful to some people, so just keep that in mind. It's different than the other kit. Now, of all the drivers in this list, I only have one precision driver, and that is because this one blew me away so much I didn't think it was worth mentioning any others. Now, this actually has 24 different heads, and it has that because the bits are actually double-sided. Now, it is more than capable of using single-sided 4mm precision bits. However, it comes with a near perfect set of precision drivers. In addition, the Torx set in this case are actually security Torx. So you have one less set that you need to carry. So this thing really, really blew me away. And there is absolutely no sound when you use it. It has a ball bearing in the back for your wrist, so you can actually twist it in your hand. So when you're using something really precise and it's not about torque, but about precision, this is without a doubt my favorite thing that I found. No question. Now this pen driver is actually in full titanium. It's only $25 and it is made by Maratac. Now this can be found on Countycom's website. It comes with a bit loaded up as well as 3 more inside the case. Now you're not going to get the highest amount of torque, but it is very, very compact. And surprisingly, with that pocket clip, you're actually going to have enough ability to put some twist on it and you can actually use it. I was actually kind of surprised that the pocket clip offered so much. Keep in mind that you can actually replace this pocket clip on their website as well. Now the next one should not be a surprise. You guys have seen me use this a number of times when we have done modifying of Leatherman tools. Now I found this particularly useful because it keeps track of the bits when I'm using them, and as I'm switching them, they just are always there. Now this actually came with a pocket clip, which I took off immediately, but if you did choose to carry this, you could do it that way. It also came with a bit extender, which I found particularly useless. Now, if this looks familiar, it's because the Big Idea Designs bit bar and this are almost identical, and that is because Steelman actually leased the design directly from Big Idea Designs. Really, really cool, nice budget offering version of the tool. Now, the next tool on this list actually came as part of a kit. Now, I bought the Swiss Tool X back when it was really inexpensive, and it came with this amazingly compact driver set. Now this will fit up to 10 bits but comes standard with 6. Now the L-shaped handle actually uses a retention ring in order to hold the bits, and you can use it either for long reach or for high torque. Now this looks very simplistic, but the truth is, as a screwdriver, it works incredibly well. And the fact that it is so compact, it actually fits into so many sheaths on top of the multi-tool that they carry. So this is a really good complementary tool, as well as being one that you can carry dedicated if you choose to just have this as an implement that you carry every day. Now the award for the most underrated EDC screwdriver probably goes to these. These are the Fixitsticks, and I was kind of skeptical, I will admit, but the construction is flawless. The fact that it carries a total of 16 bits in this kit with a really, really heavy duty setup, steel components, and the fact that it connects in such a unique way. Because there's a magnet inside each of these sections, you can basically flip it around, and even if you're only carrying the 2 components, you have 4 total bits between the 2, and nothing else on this list has as much torque as these can provide. So you're going to be able to do quite a bit of work. And if you have to really bear down on something, these would be the ones I would suggest. On top of that, there are some hidden tricks, like using this 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch socket set. This will let you do a couple of different things. Number one, you can use it as a bit extender. So that's kind of a neat little feature as well. On top of that, it will also let you turn the 2 components into a extremely long reach driver if needed. So this is not something that you're going to do often, but the fact that you can actually get into a long, deep cavity to get access to a screwdriver is pretty interesting. It would also make having a 3rd piece useful potentially. So I'm really, really impressed with this kit, and it is something that I will most definitely include in an EDC toolkit, because I think the strength that it provides is definitely in a league of its own, especially in this list. So I was very, very happy to have it, and now that I have them, I'm going to look a lot more closely at other products that they make. Now, the Levergear Bit Vault is something that I would have loved to have shown for this video, but for some reason I cannot find. Now, this is a watertight container that basically is multifunctional, a whole variety of different ways. It even has dividers that are designed for it. I use duct tape for a silencer. It's just a really cool little implement that's also a screwdriver. Now, if you are looking for an ultra premium screwdriver, Big Idea Designs has you covered. This is the Bit Bar. Now, this thing has 8 bits. It is made completely of titanium. It has a pocket clip, lanyard spot. The milling is pretty much flawless on this thing. And it comes with a leather sheath and bit extender that you can sit directly into your pocket. Now, you have to be really committed to the idea of a screwdriver to probably get into this. And we're going to be doing a separate review of all of the Big Idea Design screwdrivers in the near future. But I just wanted to showcase this initially so you can get an idea. We've talked about the fact that the Steelman is a similar combination, but it's not nearly this premium. So definitely check it out if you're into that kind of thing. I'm going to be doing a separate video on this, and I'm pretty excited about it. I did not realize I would love them so much. The next tool on the list is the EDS by Big Idea Designs, another entry into the premium screwdriver world. Now, this one I had a lot of skepticism about when I first saw it, and that was mostly because the fold-out extender, I was concerned it'd be too wide to fit in the small spaces. But if you compare it to something like the Klein, you can see that the dimension is almost identical on the longest end between the two sides of the square. And that is a very, very good thing, which means it's actually going to be able to fit into those tight compartments. On top of that, it has 2 additional bits on the back, and these are pretty easy to access and pretty easy to change out. So being able to have 3 bits in a premium form factor, a lot like a knife that isn't a knife, I think there's a whole group of people that really would appreciate this tool. Definitely requires you to be committed to the concept of carrying a screwdriver every single day. But if you want that kind of experience, this is definitely the screwdriver for you. Now, the last of the compact screwdrivers before we talk about the hybrids is the Big Idea Designs Inline Bit Bar. Now, if you were to ask me which one I would have liked the least from Big Idea Designs, this is the one I thought I would dislike. Turns out it's probably my favorite thing of the 3. Now, what I love so much is, in addition to being able to be used inline, you can also use it in a T-handle form to give you a maximum amount of torque. But they go even further. In addition to having a T-handle, it even has an L-handled form. Now that's going to apply even more torque. So they must have a lot of confidence in the strength of this thing. But we're going to put it through its paces in the upcoming video where we review all 3 of these different drivers from Big Idea Designs. Frankly, I'm very, very impressed, and I'm really glad I got a chance to touch them so I could really understand what they were all about. All very, very different drivers. Now we're going to enter the next category, which is hybrid tools that include a screwdriver. And if you were to ask me which multifunctional item I would include in just about every EDC, and that is going to have to be this one. This is the Worksharp Micro Sharpener. It has the same incredible chemical formulation as all of their other sharpeners and is incredibly easy to use to sharpen a knife. But on top of that, it carries 3 bits and can be used to adjust your knife or just be used for general purpose. In this case, I have it set up for a T8 and a T6 as well as a Phillips driver. Now, having the ability to have a screwdriver that also maintains your blades is so useful, and at $10 I can't think of anything that does a better job than this one. Now, the next one on the list is the Milwaukee Fastback 6-in-1. I will say that there's no such thing as a perfect tool, but when it comes to utility knives, this is the closest I have ever seen. Dollar for dollar, probably the best value you can get. It even has storage for an additional utility blade that you can barely see. But the real deal here that's so incredible is you get the fastback functionality as well as a locking bit driver. for only $20. Now this bit driver has a wire collar. And the cool thing about it, not only will it use standard bits as well as the double-sided bits, it will also use Leatherman bits if you have those as well. So just about in every way, this is the winner of its particular category, which is a utility blade screwdriver hybrid. Awesome, awesome piece. Now in a very similar vein, we have the Kershaw Shuffle DIY. Now Kershaw has been known to make a whole different group of knives like this one that have additional bit storage and have a blade. Now this one is so nice because it is very, very, very small. It'll fit into a small watch pocket on a pair of jeans and gives you a sub 2-inch blade to make various different cuts. So really, really cool design. And on top of that, it has one of the best retention systems that I've seen that does not require any sort of magnet. So really, really clever, really, really compact. Cool hybrid approach to this problem. This is the Teale Designs MDP. Now this is probably the biggest tank of all the hybrids that I own. Made in steel, it actually has storage for 2 bits as well as being able to be used both in an L-handled shape or inline. Now this is actually made by hand in the United States, and he is also coming out with a titanium version of this tool, so I will show pictures of that as well. I will put a link to his Etsy page where you can purchase these. They are awesome, but as you can see, built to last and to take anything you can throw at it. Just an awesome design. Now I have done an independent review of the Novel Carry Slideclick. This is a very cool tool. This one in particular is made in stainless steel, but there are titanium variants as well. The big thing here is that it actually has a milled pocket for 3 precision bits. And these will work inline, but on top of that you have a bottle opener, a pry tool, and so on. So really, really well done. One of the newer hybrid tools that have come out, and I really, really like it. So definitely something to check out, and I'll put a link to that video down below in the description along with all of the other links for the items that you have seen in this video. The Vero Engineering Fulcrum, designed by Joseph Paul Vero, is probably what started it all for me as far as collecting these hybrid tools, and pretty much the reason why I have been carrying pry tools ever since. It is still my favorite prying edge I have ever used, and the fact that the 4mm bit fits directly into the clip itself is just plain genius. It even tapers out to make it a little bit easier to get into small spaces. He has since created other variants of the tool as well, including a small version that has multiple different types of clips, including one that will actually fit on your keychain. What I like so much about the small variety is that it actually fits into a lot of leather organizers in the same slot that most pens fit in. So it has a very different functionality than its big brother, but thank you, Joseph Paul Vero, for inspiring this awesome trend that has happened with these. Now the Bolt tool by Bolt EDC takes a very different approach to this whole problem and adds a couple of titanium plates on top of a thin 1/8 inch, well, about 4mm thick piece of titanium. Now this allows him to store magnets inside those areas, as well as storing 3 bits without having to use any sort of elastic. It also comes with an integrated clip. So this is one of the thinnest ones I have, and frankly I'm very, very impressed. Really, really ingenious design, nice and light, and another option that you can look at. Now thanks again for watching, but I'm curious, which was your favorite screwdriver? Also, what should I do this on next? Scissors or something else? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks again, and we'll talk again soon.